Hi, Jakey. We're going to read today about Nate the Great and the missing birthday snake. It's by Andrew Sharmat and Marjorie Wyman Sharmat, illustrated by Jody Wheeler. There you go. Another Lily Nate story. The Great Detective. Chapter 1. An Invitation. My name is Nate the Great. I am a detective. I have a dog named Sludge. He is a detective too. It was morning. We were in the kitchen. I was eating pancakes. Sludge was chewing on a bone. We heard scratching noises at the door. There we go. Then Nate the Great and his dog Sledge eating breakfast. It sounded like a cat scratching. I opened the door. I saw Rosamond with her cat Super Hex. As always, Rosamond looked strange. So did Super Hex. Rosamond was pulling a wagon. Her other cats, Big Hex, Little Hex, and Plain Hex, were riding inside. The wagon looked like a birthday cake. Rosamond looked proud. There you go. You see Rosamond and the cats. Aren't you going to ask why my cats are in a wagon that looks like a birthday cake? Said Rosamond. I, Nate the Great, was not going to ask, because then Rosamond would tell me. She told me anyway. Sunday is my cousin Elizabeth's birthday. She's visiting. I'm having a party for her in my backyard. Here is your invitation. I looked at the invitation. There was no writing on it. Just scratch marks. Did one of your cats write the invitations? I asked. Little Hex did. Super Hex tried, but he kept ripping up the papers with his big claws. That was more than I, Nate the Great, wanted to know. So you will come? Rosamond asked. When is the party? I said. Rosamond pointed to the invitation. It's right here, Sunday at 2 o'clock. I looked at the invitation. It didn't say anything, unless you knew how to read cat scratch marks. See, that's what the invitation looks like, with just the scratch marks. It doesn't say anything. Does your cousin have 4 cats like you? I asked. She has no cats, Rosamond said. I was glad about that. She has 4 snakes, you said. Snakes? Yeah, ball pythons, actually. Pythons? I, Nate the Great, suddenly remembered that I had many things to do on Sunday. Many, many things. I would not have time to attend a birthday party full of dangerous, slimy snakes. But I could not explain this to Rosamond. She and her cats were gone. They had more invitations to deliver. Chapter 2. Raining Pythons. Sunday was warm and cloudy. It looked like it might rain. I hoped that Rosamond would cancel her party. I had no cases to solve. That meant I had no excuses. Unless the party was rained out, I would have to go. The phone rang. It was Rosamond. I have great news. The party is going on as planned. Rain or shine. I don't want to worry. I don't want you to worry. I, Nate the Great, was worried about a lot of things. I was worried that the python would be large. I was worried that they would have big fangs and be out of their cages. I was worried that they would be hungry and not for birthday cake. So that's what he's imagining the python, the snakes will look like. Right? Like that. The snakes, see? Big. I was not worried that the party would be canceled. I wrote a note to my mother. Dear Mother, Sludge and I are going to a backyard birthday party with slimy, scaly, slithering, slinking guests. We will be back if we escape. Love, Nate the Great. Sludge and I walked to Rosamond's house. It was raining hard now. Maybe the party would be canceled after all. We enter Rosamond's backyard. Finally, some good news. There was no sign of a party. I saw only Rosamond and someone I suspected was her cousin Elizabeth, and 3 really big, scary-looking snakes in 3 different cages. I'm glad you and Sludge could make it to my cousin's party, said Rosamond. Elizabeth, meet Nate the Great. Elizabeth looked like Rosamond. She had the same long hair, but red. They had on the same dress, but hers was white. Elizabeth also had the same strange look on her face. Call me Lizzie, she said. Nate the Great, please meet my pet snakes. I, Nate the Great, did not want to meet Lizzie's snakes. Sludge took a step back. He did not want to meet Lizzie's snakes. This is Super Chomp, Lizzie said. She pointed to a large snake in a metal cage. Then there is Big Chomp, Little Chomp, and Plain Chomp, I said. That's a strange name for a snake, Lizzie said. She pulled out a photograph. It was a picture of a snake riding on top of a car. The car was big. The snake was bigger. His name is Ultra Giant Goliath Chomp. I call him UGG Chomp for short, Lizzie said. I looked at UGG Chomp. He wasn't big. He was ultra big. His teeth weren't large. They were ultra large. And he looked hungry. Isn't he beautiful? Lizzie asked. Beautiful was not the word I had in mind. I changed the subject. What is he doing on top of a car? I asked. It's his favorite place, Lizzie said. He loves to ride around town. I did not want to know the answer to my next question. I asked it anyways. Where is UGG Chomp now? We can't find him, Lizzie said. When it started to rain, we moved the party indoors. We brought all the food inside. When we came back to check on the snakes, the 3 smaller ones were in their cages. Was UGG Chomp in his cage too? I asked. He didn't have a cage, Lizzie said. We couldn't find one big enough. I'm not surprised, I said. We were looking for UGG Chomp now. Rosamond said, can you help us? I hope no one stole him, Lizzie said. He's so sweet. Who wouldn't want a wonderful pet like UGG Chomp? I looked at the photograph again. I knew one thing. Nobody would ever steal Lizzie's snake. But I might find clues if I talk to the party guests. I need to go inside and talk to your guests, I said. I stepped toward the back door. I noticed a thin layer of sugar on the ground. It was everywhere. Messy party, I thought. I jumped over the sugar. I was not going to be a messy detective. The party guests were in the kitchen. I saw Claude, Pip, and Oliver. There was a table with a birthday cake, cookies, chips, nearly empty bowl of sugar, and a large jug of water. Claude was stirring a pitcher of lemonade. Annie was playing with her dog, Fang. Pip and Oliver were playing a board game. Hello, I said. I'm trying to find Lizzie's pet snake. We're not trying to find Lizzie's snake, Pip said. As long as that monster is outside, it's safe inside. He pointed to a corner. Rosamond's 4 cats were huddled together. Even they are afraid to be outside, he said. When was the last time anyone saw UGG Chomp? I asked. Right before the rain started, Annie said. He was in the back corner of the yard, hissing at Fang. Fang was barking at him. Then Fang lunged. He knocked over a pitcher and spilled water all over his new t-shirt. Fang's not wearing a t-shirt, I said. Rosamond took it off. She put it in the dryer in the basement, Annie said. See, there you go. She's taking off the shirt of the dog. Then the rain started and we brought everything inside, Claude said. I brought in the sugar, Oliver said. Well, some of it. I tripped on the top step and dropped a pile of it on the porch. I was the last person to come in. Chapter 3. UGG Chomp, where are you? There doesn't seem to be any clue. I would have to wait. I would go outside. I would listen for the sound of someone screaming. That would tell me where Lizzie's snake was. But that would not be a good way to solve the case. I had to find UGG Chomp before UGG Chomp found someone else. Then I remember Lizzie's car. It was UGG Chomp's favorite place. Maybe he had gone looking for it. I went out to the street. There was no sign of Lizzie's car. Lizzie's mother must have dropped her and her snake off at the party and then driven away. But UGG Chomp would not know that the car was gone. Maybe he'd come back to the street to look for it. Then what? If he returned to the yard, someone would have seen him. If he'd slithered out onto the street, we would have heard screaming and police sirens by now. I, Nate the Great, decided that the street was not the best place to look for clues. I went back to the yard. I walked over to the corner of the yard where UGG Chomp had last been seen. There were several large holes. UGG Chomp had been busy digging. I, Nate the Great, knew one thing. I was not going to look in any of the holes. Did you find him? Lizzie asked. No, I said. Lizzie noticed the hole too. He would be in any one of those, she said. UGG Chomp, where are you? She called. I, Nate the Great, did not know much about snakes, but I knew that calling a snake's name definitely would not work. I walked around the yard. Behind the yard was a large field with tall grass. It was the perfect place for a snake to hide. We need to search the field, I said. Snakes love tall grass. Chapter 4. Snake Eyes. Sludge and I went out to the field. The other party guests followed. It was still raining. The field was big. The grass was tall. The field was filled with buggy things and wings. Flies, fleas, bees, mosquitoes, gnats, wasps, hornets, and a big flying thing that looked like a small bird. See, they're out in the tall grass. See, tall grass? I, Nate the Great, was hoping that the big flying thing that looked like a bird was a bird. I also hoped we would find UGG Chomp quickly. We searched and searched. We found many, many things. Old toys, tires, books, candy wrappers, and orange peels. But we did not find UGG Chomp. Ouch, Rosamond yelled. I think a mosquito bit me. A mosquito bit me. I think I was bit by a flea, Pip said. I was just hit by something that looked like a small bird, Oliver said. The only thing we've done out here is feed the insect, I said. Then Claude shouted from across the field. I did it! I solved the case! I ran to where I heard Claude's voice. The other party guests followed me. The insects followed the party guests. Claude pointed to a swampy stream. There were branches in the water. There was also mud and leaves, and hiding inside the leaves, 2 shining eyes. Chapter 5. Claude, you did it, Lizzie shouted. You are a detective. You are Claude the Great. Not really, Claude said. I was looking for $1 I lost. I thought it fell into the water. When I looked down, I saw 2 eyes looking up at me. Claude was always losing things, but this time he had found something. He had found Lizzie's snake. The snake is buried under the leaves and mud, I said. We need to get it out. Maybe we could get him to come out if we had some kind of bait. And he said, pancakes, I said. Snakes don't eat pancakes, Lizzie said. No, I said, but I do. They help me think. It's hard to be a detective when you're hungry. I have an idea, Annie said. I'll take Fang to the stream. He'll bark at UGG Chomp and scare him out of the water. I turned to Lizzie. When was the last time UGG Chomp ate, I asked. Yesterday, she said. UGG Chomp will be hungry, I said. Fang might become his lunch or snack, Lizzie said. UGG Chomp really loves to eat. I walked down the stream. I looked at the water. I saw 2 black eyes. I saw fur. I saw fur around the 2 black eyes. Then I saw 2 ears. They were also covered in fur. We had not found Lizzie's snake. I, Nate the Great, say that you are not looking at a snake. A snake would have scales around its eyes. This animal has fur and ears. Snakes don't have fur or ears, Lizzie said. But beavers do, I said. We're looking at a beaver. So this is a dead end, Rosamond said. No, it's not, Claude said. I just found my $1 in the mud. We need to get back inside, I said. But how are we going to find my snake? Lizzie asked. He could be anywhere by now. Not anywhere, I said. He will go where a snake would go. And we need to find out where that is. We need to talk to someone who knows about snakes. Who would that be, Lizzie asked. A pet store, that's who. Crazy Craig's Peculiar Pets. They specialize in strange pets. And they sell snakes. I'll take Sludge with me. See, they went to this store. Pet store, Peculiar Pets. Chapter 6. Sludge and I walked in the rain to Crazy Craig's Peculiar Pets. I opened the front door. I looked around. I saw all sorts of peculiar pets. Armadillos, skunks, hedgehogs, anteaters, and of course, snakes. There were also many insects, including one that looked like a small bird. Sludge whimpered and ran toward the door. I followed him. Come on, Sludge, I said. We have a case to solve. An odd-looking man walked over. He was wearing a crazy t-shirt with a picture of a snake with a giant fangs. He also had wild, crazy-looking hair, lots of wild, crazy-looking hair, and a long beard. Look at the owner, pet shop owner. We were in the right place. You must be Crazy Craig, I said. Yes, he said, but you can call me Crazy. I'd like to talk to you about snakes, I said. And I'd like to talk to you about snakes, Crazy Craig said. But I really like to talk to you about tarantulas. We're having a huge sale on spiders. Sludge hid behind my legs. Maybe next time, I said. Right now, I am trying to find a missing ball python. He vanished during a birthday party. Snake disappear a lot, Crazy Crate said. Snake have to keep their bodies warm. They'll look for rugs, blankets, and furnaces. There you go. He's trying to sell him the spiders. Any place that's warm? Thank you, I said. You have given us a good clue. Glad to help, Crazy Crate said. Now how about those tarantulas? They make wonderful gifts. He pointed to a large, hairy spider. His name is Alfred, and he's on sale. If you buy him today, I'll throw in his friend Henrietta. Right there. He's trying to sell him that tarantula. I thought about Lizzie and her strange snakes. A tarantula might be a good present for her. But I, Nate the Great, was on a case. Chapter 7. Sludge and I rushed back to Rosamond's house. It was pouring rain. Everyone was inside. Snakes love warm places, I announced. We must find some place warm. I opened the back door and looked at the yard. I looked down at the porch. The sugar was still there. Then I remembered. Oliver said that he had dropped a pile of sugar on the porch. But there was no pile, just a giant mess spread out all over the place. Did anyone try to clean up the pile of sugar? I asked. No, Lizzie said. I, Nate the Great, say to all of you that UGG Chomp has slithered his way into the house. See, there's all the sugar on the floor. But we would have seen him, Claude said. Not if he slithered down into the basement, I said. The basement has warm places where a snake might go, Rosamond said. There's a furnace, a water heater, blankets, and mattresses. We all went down to the basement. Maybe you can sniff UGG Chomp out, I said to Sludge. Sludge whimpered. We searched the basement. We looked under blankets. We looked in boxes. We looked near the furnace and the water heater. They went down into the basement, and right there, they're looking for the UGG Chomp. Oliver picked up a corner of the rug. Not under here, he said. You didn't need to lift the rug, Lizzie said. If he were under it, we would see a big bulge. I, Nate the Great, knew that UGG Chomp could not be in the basement. He was too big to hide down here, and yet he was hiding. We were playing hide and seek with a giant snake. The giant snake was winning. UGG Chomp must be really smart, I said. He's brilliant, Lizzie said, and he's never even gone to school. I thought about UGG Chomp in a classroom filled with children. Let me guess, I said. No school would take him. We tried them all, Lizzie said. Well, he's smart enough to stay hidden, I said, and we are running out of places to look. Then Sludge went to the dryer. It was busy drying Fang's t-shirt. UGG Chomp is not in the dryer, Rosamond said. Why not? Oliver asked. Snakes like heat. The dryer is hot. Because a snake can open the dryer door, let himself in, close the door, and turn on the heat, Rosamond said. I didn't think about that, Oliver said. Neither did Sludge, Lizzie said. I guess he's not much of a detective. Sludge growled. Sludge is a great detective, I said. But Rosamond was right. UGG Chomp could not have gotten inside the dryer on his own. What was Sludge trying to tell me? I look at the dryer. Then I walk around and look behind it. No snake. Then I realized that Sludge had solved the case. Chapter 8. Hugs and Kisses. I went back up the basement stairs. I walked through the kitchen and opened the door to the backyard. Sugar covered much of the porch, but there was no sugar by the door. UGG Chomp had never reached the door. I looked to the side of the porch. I saw a large bush next to the house. Behind the bush, I heard a noise coming from inside the house. It was the sound of the dryer vent blowing out hot air from the dryer in the basement. I, Nate the Great, knew where UGG Chomp had gone. I walked over and looked behind the bush. There was UGG Chomp. I looked at him. He hissed at me. The case was solved. It was my job to find him. It was not my job to move him. A good detective knows his limits. I went back inside the house. The case is solved, I said. Come here, I'll show you where ultra-giant Goliath Chomp is. Everyone followed me outside. You found him, Lizzie exclaimed. My beautiful little baby. Baby? I said. Oh, yes, Lizzie said. Someday he'll be twice as big as he is now. I can hardly wait, I said. Thank you so much, Nate the Great, Lizzie said. Don't thank me. Thank Sludge. Okay, there's the snake. Look at that. It's supposed to grow twice the size. It's still a baby. There he is. See, he found the snake in the bush. He solved the case. Well, thank you, Sludge, Lizzie said. Can you two stay for dinner? I look at UGG Chomp. He looked very hungry and he was smiling. I love to, I said, but I have to get back to Crazy Craig's before they close. They're having a great sales on Spider. The end. Isn't that scary? Do you want a big snake pet? I don't think your mom will let you have it. But anyways, that's the end of the book. And I hope you liked it. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Love you.